Good afternoon everybody, welcome back to the Bird Room. I'm Shane from Direct Bird Products. Today we're just going to do the usual run through what's happening in my shed, talk about a few people's birds that I've been in contact with and how their seasons are going so far and compared to mine, and just look through what's happening. As we all know, obviously the weather this year is being somewhat horrendous in some parts and horrendously hot, and there's no pattern to it as a British weather. This is 100% British weather, but it's extreme to extreme, where May was full of rain, beginning of June up to now is been sweltering hot, too hot for breeding birds, especially in the shed like I have, but luckily I've got the air conditioning there to keep the temperature lower. And this brings me on to the point of indoor flights, where I can control the light aspect, the element, the temperatures and everything like that. But it's not all smooth sailing from that point. And the reason I'm mentioning that, because I've been speaking to Mark over the last, well, we speak regularly as I've said before, and his season's not gone to plan. It's probably the worst year he's had, he said to me, and it's not nice to hear that, especially, you know, with partners. It makes no odds to me if he breeds a shed full or not. You know, we're in this together, we're a team. So it's no pressure on him or me to breed many and do well in the shows. We do it to take a burden off each other. But on the point of flights, obviously with the weather that we have had, all the outdoor flights are open to elements where we can't control. And this is partly why originally when I had my flights at the other side of the shed outdoor, last year I did find it was a bit too hot in there, although I did breed better outside in outside flights than I did inside. They did the trick, but as they are inside I can control the light, the temperature and everything about the birds, so it's worked for me, but I still think it needs a little tweaking, because remember this is the first season I've bred them with the flights on this side. There's needed a bit of tweaking for, obviously, before next breeding season with what I've learned. And you know, I've been in birds over 30 years and I'm still learning every day. There's things that, one that Matt put on with Keith Ferry about the eggs into the shells, that's a new thing to me, and when you think about it, it's common sense, and half the time a lot of the things we do are common sense with birds, but yeah, we take a lot of things for granted, and Matt and Oliver are doing a fantastic job to help each other in the bird world. All the little tips we offer and everyone offers goes a long way to help all the beginners and newcomers to the hobby. Right, so how is my season going? If I had to judge it from the start of the breeding season to where I am now, with the numbers that I've got, I would take it. Although I have not hit my target as yet. Breeding season's not over, don't get me wrong, but it is coming to an end quite soon from looking around at some of the birds. So yeah, like I said, we've got a fair few number of birds. I'm not going to divulge too much on numbers. I'm not here to say I've bred 100 birds or whatever, but basically what I have bred so far I'm quite happy with. But on the other hand, some of the birds, such as the bullfinches, the yellowhammers and the brambles, chaffinches and other bits, I'm unhappy about. But that is birds for you, and if it was easy, then I don't think it'd be a challenge for any of us, because basically when I breed I like a bit of a challenge, or I wouldn't try the hybrids that I try. If it was easy and I wanted an easy life, I'd just stick to canaries, because in my opinion they're easier to breed than British birds. But I prefer British birds because they give me a challenge. That brings me on to another note. I mean, I have read a lot of posts on Facebook, and even talking to one of my close friends only today. He did text me a couple of days ago and basically said the end is in sight for him with the birds, and he's had birds 60 years I reckon, and Yeah, it's not, well, it's probably more than 60 years. I know he had birds in the 1960s, because he always talks about it and stuff when we meet up and things. So, but yeah, he breeds British birds, basically. Most species that I've got, and then some finches, for instance. And he's really disappointed with it, but it is down to the weather that has basically drove him a bit disheartened with the birds, because you know he's putting so much effort into the birds, like we all do, see little results. And when you get birds on the sticks and then the next morning he goes in and they're dead, it's very disheartening. So, but we're all in it together. The amount of things, like I said, I've seen on Facebook where people have, you know, fallen out with it because the birds are not acting as they should. But I mean, I'd be the same if I've not done this for that long and know that you can never count your chickens, that you're just never going to get anywhere. One thing I always think to myself, there's always next year, there's always next year. And at the end of the day, that's all we can do. And it is a true fact, there's always next year. I mean, if we get the birds that we wanted, then the year after we probably rest on his laurels and think that was easy. I'll try and do it again and replicate everything in the same manner, and probably not get anywhere, because it's down to the atmosphere, the air pressure and everything. There's a lot of different aspects involved, but that's enough of me talking about doom and gloom. But there is a lot of doom and gloom to come. But anyway, some of you eagle-eyed viewers last week, or midweek, when I was talking about the Cowful Red, might have noticed that yes, some of my water pots weren't very full. True. And I've already said it. It's been sweltering hot weather. I don't fill my water pots up because I'm changing them. I'm wasting water. I'll put what they need in for that point, and then come in as and when throughout the day to keep changing it. You don't want to give your birds water that's going to warm up and they're going to drink it. It's just not good at all. So yeah, anyone that did wonder why some of the water pots were low, that's why, because obviously I change them quite frequently. And we'll move on to the birds now. Start telling you about some of the birds. My pair of crossbills there that I know have definitely finished breeding, but it's always nice to see them still bonded, still feeding each other. It's always good to see. So regular viewers will know that over this side is basically the canary side. The Fife area is over here. We've got a few on eggs still due to hatch. The others obviously are on chicks that are on round 2, cage 3 for instance. Bullfinches, as you all know, I told you last time, delayed. She never sat them, never went back to nest, never done anything. It's one of them where it is what it is, and if they go down, they go down. I'm not that fussed. Lovely birds, so I'm quite happy with them. They're the British ones anyway. Moving further down below them, we've got what is it, cage 9? No, it's not. I tell a lie. It's cage 7. She's got 3 youngers in there, just finishing off. They're about, well, they're just about to jump nest. So I would say 14, 15 days old. They have been in and out of the nest, but they're back in there comfortably now. Cage 8 is with the Norwich, as you can probably just see there. The Norwich are in the weaning cage. Unfortunately, we did lose a couple of birds, which I'll explain, and one was in there. And this is why I was saying before about topping up, because obviously 4 alone, especially Norwich, for 5 to bring up, it's quite a task. With me, when I was topping them up to giving them a helping hand, it's done the job, because 4 out of 5 is still in there. The cage below them, she had the 2 5s and 2 linnet mules. Unfortunately, the linnet mules left the nest as the 5s did, but as they were growing up, I started seeing weakness in them already. When they was coming up for food, the reds were going too far back, as though they'd had a broken neck, for instance. And I was thinking that this is probably a calcium deficiency or or something wrong with them, that not enough protein in the food, and this is partly why I was topping them up. But then it dawned on me, obviously mules and hybrids are prone to, how can I put it, problems, certain problems, deformities and stuff like that, especially the red poll mules. And that's all I put it down to, is the fact that I don't think they were strong enough in themselves, and obviously from the beginning, when I said I was topping them up, the hen wasn't feeding them properly, and she obviously knew that they weren't going to last, but obviously persevered with the situation, and with me topping them up, boosted them. But like I said, they left the nest, and one by one, obviously one day one went down. Not gonna lie, nothing like that. Obviously I don't believe that they had coxie or anything like that, especially with being mules. Then obviously the day after the other one went, but yet the other birds are fine in there. Our own chicks, and it is what it is. Luckily, the linnet muley pair, she's now back on 4 eggs, so we'll just have to see. I've not checked them if they're full, so it is on the list of everything else to do. As in the bird room, there's a lot of birds breeding, a lot of pairs. Not saying it's too much to keep on top of, but there's a lot going off at once, so that is that. Right, so Greenfinch is over in the corner over here. Again, absolute nothing from this pair. She's built, and I've said this, but just nothing. And she's not the only pair. I've got another pair over there that's built and built and built, and it's just not laying. It does happen, and probably next year. And I know these are birds I bred myself, the current year birds from last year, so I know that they're not old, or they're not too young, because they are, especially the one over here was one of the first round birds. But that is that. The cage below that has got greenfinch. I remember I said I candled one egg out of the nest of eggs in there, and I knew that one was full from candling it. Well, when they hatched, actually only 2 out of the nest were full. It is what it is, and 2's better than none. They are 3 days old now. I'll take a picture of them, and they look like they're going to do okay. I have seen her feeding them. When I came in and fed earlier, she came straight off the nest, straight down to the food, and straight back up feeding them. The Greenfinch Chaffinch hybrid, she's still adding little bits to the nest. I don't know. Is it too late? Chaffinches probably not, Greenfinches probably not, but as I've said, I do think it's not going to be far now till the birds start winning them up, especially the adult birds. The younger birds, the younger fights and stuff, it's feathers everywhere. Every time I'm coming in sweeping up, there's feathers everywhere, so it is what it is. The Greenfinch, there's a Greenfinch pair below that. Now, they're not there no more. They are in the end flight where the yellow hammers were. Unfortunately, just came in one morning to check, as I do every day. Couldn't see the hen birds. I presume she was on the nest. And later on that day, I came in, we were feeding them, and I thought I'd just go in and check, and she was dead. So the yellow hammer's come out, and he's just plodding around in a mixed flight, just nothing I can do about it. Seemingly though, she had 2 eggs in the nest, and there was fresh laid by the look of it. There's nothing else I can do. So all I've done is put them on the canaries for the moment. I know for an absolute certain the canaries won't bring them up. But my idea was to wait, and hopefully we'll have the chaffinches lay at the same time, or the hybrid pair if they were clear. At least we're going to get the insectivorous for like the chaffinch in breeding season to give them that food for the first few days. But rather than throw them away and have no chance, so well, give them a fighting chance and see what they do. in the top flight over there, as I mentioned on Wednesday, the Crossbill, I'll probably try and get him out and put him in a cage so you could see him, or maybe even take a snapshot. He's happy in himself. With the parents now, they've started molting, so they're not gonna. That's gonna be them for this year. The pair of northern bullfinches. Well, same as always. Crap. They lovely pair. Like a young couple, I suppose. They are always feeding each other and lovely to get on with. But every time she lays eggs, and I know it's her that's smashing the eggs, not him. And yeah, she smashes them in no time. So I have to get in here in the morning. If I come in at 6:30, sometimes she's not even laid the egg. I come in an hour later, she's laid it and smashed it. And I know it's not him because I've took him out while she's done it. Anyway, I've luckily managed to get one off before she did get into it, and that is actually under the greeny bully pair, the ivory pair, because she's back on eggs. Now, worst case scenario, if her eggs are clear, she's still going to have, hopefully, if it's clear, if it's full from them, the egg from the other pair to bring up to give her a bit of a boost. But then again, at that point, I don't expect her to go down again. That'll be her done. Especially when they hatch out, we're going to be talking beginning of July. By the time they're weaned out of the nest, it's going to be into August. So that'll be about it. Right, so this Greenfinch pair, she's on eggs. I'm just waiting for them to hatch. They are due to hatch at any time. Same again, I'll run round and try and give you some shots of some of the birds, especially the ones in the flights, because they're not as easy to see or anything while I'm doing them. But talking about the flights, now this might seem a bit neglected to anyone watching. So basically, I've got greenfinches in the flights. All the greenfinches in the flights, except for this pair, are on eggs. And I know they're all about the same time, because when I went in and checked what's happening here, if they've got eggs or things like that, but obviously I didn't do it enough, as you'll find out. So I knew pair A, B, C and D had eggs or whatever. Except for one of the pairs, when I was checking at that point, she had 2 eggs. So there I'm thinking to myself, right, they're fresh laid, because obviously she had 2 eggs and I think she's got 3, 4 to go. And as I have said, that I don't take eggs out from the flight and put them in the egg box and replace those dummy eggs. It's a lot of faff, it's a lot of messing about that I don't need. Don't need to disturb the birds. But so anyway, so I'm thinking, so she's not finished yet. She's got a few days before, obviously she's gonna sit tight and whatever. So technically they've got another week to go, just like the others. Until, as I mentioned, I go around spraying on the spray bottles over there, and I spray all the birds that's on eggs and stuff like that. I like mist. It'll help the eggs out and refreshes the ends up that's been sat there all day in the hot sun. And she went on the nest, so I'm thinking, where is she? Carried on spraying everything else, and I sprayed a little mist over the eggs. As I'm walking back down, I'm seeing her feeding. I look back on the card and I'm thinking, no, they're not due out, she can't be feeding. So anyway, I went in there, and yeah, she had 1 greenfinch chick and obviously a clear egg. And the greenfinch chick, luckily, 5 days old around that, because I'd only just managed to squeeze the ring on. Luckily I spotted it at that point, or else that wouldn't have got wrong this year. But yeah, she's doing a good job feeding it, totally fine. And I'm keeping an eye on it because it is the only one, and not the others are due out at the same time. They're all due next week. Before I show you the greenfinches, I'm going to explain about the bramble finches now. So, the bramble finches are a pain in the backside. these are the ones in the flights. The ones in the cage are still doing what I said before, still putting little bits in the nest, but never really attempting 100% to go to nest. So in the flights, I knew they were due, like I said last week on the video. So at that point I went in and checked, and I found she had 4 eggs and 1 chick which was dead. And as you'll see from the picture, the chick looks about 2 days old, but she never fed that from looking at it. But then again, I couldn't tell, as anyone who breeds like chaffinches or yellowhammers or brambles know that the chicks of the young insectivorous ones don't actually get a crop till after the 5 days or so. They basically big feed, not crop feed. So it was dead anyway. So I thought to myself, right, not a problem. Got 4 eggs in there. I'll leave her alone. I left her another week. This was till Wednesday. I went in and I thought, right, these have got to be surely due out. To find the other 4 were clear. Doesn't make no sense. But on the other hand, so what happened is, she laid the 1 egg, so that was the one that hatched, then she went egg bound. Then she laid after that. So obviously I think that's what's messed that cycle up of the fertility in the eggs after she went egg bound. Anyway, I removed the eggs. You'll see in the picture, anyone that doesn't breed bramble finches have got lovely blue eggs, speckled blue eggs. But that might just be me because I love blue anyway. So, but anyway, she wasn't very happy about me doing that because yeah, she went to sit on the nest and she's looking where the eggs had gone and things. It is where it is. I removed them. She would have eventually just come off of myself anyway and gone to nest. So I'm hoping she goes to nest this time and have no complications with going egg bound or anything like that. So what we'll do now is we'll have a quick scan around and some pictures and show you what's happening. So yes, we'll probably start with a couple of the fives and a couple of the maybe the greenfinch over here and then work through. Just a nest of 3 young fives, quite a messy cage, but as you know, I'll be cleaning these out shortly when I put the nest on the floor, probably tomorrow. This one is cage 2 now. She's on her 2nd round last, so hopefully these will be alright and we'll see how they get on. Another nest of 3 right here. Not sure you could see them. This is a nest of 2 young greenfinches, as you can see. Quite a full crop on these 2. Yeah. Doing a fabulous job this end. It's just a nest of 3 greenfinch eggs. Looks like 2 full, 1 clear there. Joys of breeding. Not a really easy one to see, but nestled in that corner, this is flight number 3, is one of the pairs of greenfinches. But obviously I can see her through the cover of this front, but not really easy to pick up on camera. This is flight 4, as you can probably just see the greenfinch there. This is the one where she had the young ones in, which are removed. I just want to show you this. This here is actually a cock redpoll sitting on the nest. No an hen bird. If the hen won't sit, he'll come and tend to it. It's quite a good little cock bird, but he's the one that pecks the bloody eggs, so I don't know what's going on with this. Great shot there. Greenfinch feeding the bully. Just to show a point, this pair of chaffinches is the one I've put in from the cage now. He looks a little stale. I think he's just starting to go into the molt. It's nothing else. I mean, yes, by looking at him even now, this is what I said, that there's nothing else we can do. It is what it is with breeding British birds. So I would say these are done for the season. What I'm going to do is leave them a few more days and remove the nest sites, I think. This is going to be flight 6. This is the one with the greenfinches, so don't want to spend too much time here. Don't want to give her any problems. This is flight number 7, as you can see over there in the corner. Current year greenfinch hen, currently on eggs. This is another greenfinch on eggs over there. Not really to get him to the front. That's a crossbill pair, just little and he's not easy to film. This is just a pair of 5s again, just starting out. Last round for her, she failed the second round, she never bothered with them, so that'll be her last one. Right, so that was just a quick look round of what's going on. You can see my glass lines even more now. But yeah, that's what's going off. Quite happy to see the actual, to show you on camera, the greenfinch feeding the bullfinch. So quite a lovely sight to see. Good sitting sometimes in the shed and watch things like that all day. But yes, maybe more to show you next time around. We just don't know. Can't make any promises. That's what I can promise you. The young Norwich, hopefully, the next time around, they'll be weaned and I can actually show you in more presence. Same with the crossbill. One thing I don't like to do is stress birds out, and I've been in here quite a while now, feeding the birds and running through records and obviously doing the filming. And you don't need to do that when you're breeding some of the birds that, like the brambles, that are a bit finicky, and chaffinches that don't really like to be messed with. Sometimes you just have to take into consideration less is more. But yeah, I mean, that's just a quick look round at what's going off. And like I said earlier, with Mark, he's having a bit of a harder time with the birds this year. And what he's thinking. So obviously he's got certain soft bills, bullfinches, crossbills and greenfinches. And he was talking to me about maybe just getting rid of most of them and just concentrating more on the greenfinches again, because one thing that is a true fact, I know this myself and I have been told it many a times, when you go too much into detail on other birds, you're never going to get the quality out of them. Say for instance, one pair of chaffinches, one pair of bullfinches and this, you're only going to get the potential what they can throw off, whereas if you're breeding 7 or 8 pairs of greenfinches only, throughout the time you're actually going to increase your birds by line breeding, exactly like I've said before, and improving on it, whereas too many species does take the attention away from what you're trying to achieve in the start. But as for me, I'm more about the birds, as in I like to see different varieties, and yeah, I don't like not seeing them breed or having results from them, but on the other hand, I just enjoy seeing them. So, but that's where me and Mark work well together. We have his own ways and we both respect that. He's got his way, and I'll tell you something, Mark does know how to breed a bird, especially a greenfinch, and anyone will tell you that. And whereas I can breed them, I can tell you a lot about them, but when it comes to it, are more about what they look like than they sound like and what they look like on a show bench sometimes. I'm in it for the enjoyment. But yeah, there's not really much more to see, though there's plenty to see. If anyone wants to see my area, there'd be, in the bird room. There's a lot for people to see, but not a lot to show, if you know what I mean. You've seen it all throughout the last few weeks. So that brings me on to the next point before I do leave. I've been thinking now over, obviously, the lockdown situation is starting to be lifted soon. People are going to start going out more on a Friday evening. It is what it is. We like to go out and enjoy a nice meal on a Friday after an hard day's work or a hard week's work. So I was contemplating on maybe changing the time on maybe a Friday or later on a weekend. Obviously I know you got Matt's on a Sunday and Oliver's as well on a Saturday. Maybe I could change it, like I said, later on a Friday, later on a Saturday or later on a Sunday. To be honest, it's really what you guys want. Message, comment below what suits you guys, and we'll try and do it to suit you. At the end of the day, we are doing this for you and for your enjoyment, to learn from and to look at. So like I said, I enjoy watching Matthew's and Oliver's. Matthew, I don't think he likes calling Matthew. But yeah, I enjoy watching theirs, and it's always good to see. I always used to enjoy going to other bird blokes' houses and looking at their birds just for the sake of it. So yes, comment below if you any suggestions on better timing, better days, whatever. It's really down to you guys. It's you guys that are the viewers, and I'll do whatever it takes to make you guys happy. Simple as that. But anyway, that'll be it today. So thank you everyone for watching. Like I said, over the coming weeks, we will be contrasting fruit breeding into molting, and hopefully, I do want to get down and visit Mark, as and when. And also, when my friend Stacey Turner, when he pulls his finger out, he won't like that either. Now he's waiting for his new cages to finish being built in his new bird room. Then we're going to be up there filming. I've known Stacey for a hell of a long time, and he does know a thing about too, especially mules and hybrids. So that'll be very interesting to watch. So anyway, enjoy your Friday evening and enjoy the weekend. And I'll see you on Wednesday for midweek tips. Visit our website, directbirdproducts.com, for all your bird needs. And if there's not something on there that you can't find, send us a message on Facebook, Direct Bird Products. And hopefully, if we have got it and not even loaded it onto the website yet, we might be able to help you out and get it. Anyway, thanks for watching and take care.